No excuses today. Fight for the shit. What you got inside, is that all you got to give? Is there more to life?
Well, earlier on in the week, you saw Mean Dean, and guess what? He's still here. And we're about to have the interview with yourself, Mean Dean, and talk about your time in WA professional wrestling. Mean Dean, never mind that. This episode is all about yourself, sir. How are you?
Oh, I'm really good, mate. Thanks for having us on. It's an absolute pleasure to join you, and it's been a while since I've seen your lovely face.
But yeah, you've sat ringside at most of these guys' matches before, so you know, not a better seat in the house.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the perks that I get of my job, of doing what I do, especially for as long as I have. I've got to just have the best seat in the house. Some massive, amazing matchups. It's interesting because you're kind of in the moment whilst you're calling it or whatever, but definitely it does sort of settle in that you're kind of like, wow, this is something special. You can kind of feel it as it's going, just how good something is that you're seeing it, rather than just reacting like you would in an audience. I've got to verbalize my reactions. So yeah, whilst I am working, I'm also getting to see this great stuff, and with the likes of Slater as well, who does a lot of the death matches in Dude Where's My Ring. A lot of times it's you get caught off guard because they do some absolute insane things, which your reactions can be a bit crazy. Not lending him so much for a commentary standpoint, because it's kind of like, oh my God, these are my friends that are doing this insane stuff. What are they doing to themselves? What the hell? But it's impressive, all the rest, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, you like basically you're the voice of Australian wrestling. Your voice for EPW and Dude, Where's My Ring? You started in EPW first. What year did you start in EPW, bro? Because you've been there for a while.
19 years this year, my friend.
Yeah,
I started back in 2007.
yeah,
Early 2007, in fact. I just wanted to get involved. I was I was working in radio at the time, and played a bit of phone tennis with David Storm, of all people, who I didn't even know was David Storm on the other end of these answer machine messages, asking if they needed someone to do voice work. They ended up getting me to come in. The first show that I went down for to be on hand was Date with Destiny, which was Jimmy Payne and Devlin Reeves for the EPW Championship in the main event. And they got me to do backstage interviews. I was mostly working with Rick Sanders, Slick Rick Sanders. I know you and Don are very familiar with him.
yeah.
So he worked very closely with me in the early goings, doing backstage interviews, getting what we needed out of promos and stuff like that. And Jack Burbank was commentating at the time with Luke Boland. And around mid-year, Burbank was involved in an angle with Brad West, the All-Star, a good friend of mine, and yourself, mind you. We all go back quite a while. And when Burb started his angle and what led to a match at Reawakening that year with Brad, I took over doing commentary from him at Evolution night 1. Lukey couldn't make it, so I called with Burb that night, and then he got taken out night 2. I took over from there and been doing it ever since. But that second night, I actually got to call a ladder match on my, I guess, second night on the job. So it was a really cool experience, and I've been doing it ever since. And I feel very lucky and privileged that I've been able to do it as long as I have, because wrestling's a crazy, weird little fickle beast, and it can go in swings and roundabouts in many, many ways. And to be around it as long as I have, the honor and privilege isn't lost on me, because I still love doing what I do. Even sometimes, you know, like we all find out who are involved in it, doesn't always love you back, but it's great to be a part of, and it's something that I always look forward to, and it's just, I just love it. So, lucky me. I'm excited that next year's going to be my 20th year, for no particular reason, just that it sounds good, just so I've been doing it for 2 decades. It also makes me feel incredibly old with all the young wrestlers about these days, because, my God.
Not looking at bro, but that led
Thanks, man.
That kind of time led you to what? Dude, Where's My Ring?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. I got involved in that. What year did they start? 2023, I believe it was. I saw that they announced the company and the poster and the show and I was kind of like, oh, what's this? And I mean, I really like hardcore wrestling. I always have. Like, I remember doing like backyard stuff before EPW that was very hardcore based, because I think that's what most backyard people did.
Yeah.
But I always liked hardcore wrestling. I'm not the biggest follower of the deathmatch scene, but I do really enjoy deathmatch wrestling as well. Went to a bunch of deathmatch shows in the times I've been to Japan and stuff. And I thought it was exciting, but I didn't know that no ring wrestling was a thing. I didn't know there was companies that did this.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Like, I remember chatting to James Hartness, who before COVID was booked to do a no ring show in Melbourne. I'm like, wait, so they don't have a ring and they do death matches? I'm like, how is this supposed to work? But anyway, the people in charge of the company, long story short, was obviously Michelle K. Hasluck, Felix Young, and Jared Slate. People I'd known for a very long time, many years. I'd known Jared Slate since before even I joined EPW, known Michelle since my time in EPW. We'd commentated together, obviously done a lot of promos and worked together and stuff. So we're all really good mates. And they said, hey, we would like you to be involved. We'd had a host for this show. Obviously they want commentary too, which I'm more than happy with. I love commentating, and that's my jam. But they're also like, hey, do you want to like do the re-announcing and host the show? But we want you as you. We don't want suit and tie, prim and proper, like, wear your big baggy shorts, your hats, and look as stupid as you want, and speak as foul mouthed as you like. And that's fun too, because I tend to have a pretty foul mouth on me. So being able to use all the bad words I would never ever use on the call in EPW is a bit of a kick as well. Plus, it was just kind of different, and different is good, as we've said. So I got involved in that first show, and it went really good. The cool thing as well is the first couple of shows we did were at Badlands, and they had bands playing as well, which obviously, much like yourself and I, we've been involved in the music scene over the years. We've played gigs together, man.
Yeah.
Bit of a peek behind the curtain. So I was excited there was bands involved in wrestling. I think Wrestle Rock does that over in Melbourne, right?
Yep, they do. Yeah, band.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, so cool, man. You get some live music and live wrestling. I'm like a kid at Christmas. So yeah, it was really cool, and I think I helped bring a bit of the vibe to this show as well, which is kind of what they wanted. And it's been really cool over the last couple of years since Dude started, seeing the evolution, or the elevation, should I say, of how it's gone, because we're selling out almost every show at seasonal, and from behind the scenes being involved, like I got involved, and some people are like, oh, what the hell are you doing that for? Like people, who are with more like professional wrestling companies. And I'm like, it's a gig, first and foremost. I do a lot of different announcing gigs and stuff, but I'm like, these are my good mates. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And I'm like, why wouldn't I? It's something new and different and fresh. And it's, if something cool's popping up, it's always great to be on the ground floor and be a part of the beginning of something. It's super exciting, and it's still exciting. You never quite know what you're going to get. And it's really funny because I was under the impression, just purely assumption, that once we got going, all people want is the death matches and the blood and the glass and the gore. But people are really into like the comedy, the silliness, the trading of holds and stuff. And I never would have guessed that in a million years. And it's been quite surprising. And the other thing that really surprised me about it is the fan base is quite different to what I see at a regular wrestling show. It doesn't cross over as much as you'd think. There are a lot of people that are at like both shows, but there is a lot that are either just at one or just at the other. And I mean, that's cool. Different strokes for different folks, but people like what they like. And the fans of Dude, Where's My Ring are a really interesting bunch. They're a hell of a lot of fun. And they crack me up. There's some of the chants they do, some of the stuff that they get into that I thought would never work. It's it's been a hell of a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great atmosphere. I was over there for the WWE weekend. I got to admit, like, probably Dude was the funnest show of the weekend. Like, the place I had more fun at, So
I was so hungover for that show.
You couldn't tell.
Which is never something that I do, but we went to SmackDown on the Friday night, and my cousin that I went with, we got stuck into it far too much. So I was suffering that day, but still bring it. It's not often I do a show hungover, but it also started like, what was it, like 11 in the morning?
11 in the morning. It was it was very early, and so like we're all trekking off to Mayland. I think it got kicked off about midday.
But
atmosphere was great.
hard.
Atmosphere was great.
Man. It was jam-packed that day, man. There were so many people there. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I did really enjoy that show.
Well, I've got to ask, with the atmosphere, do you still think Dude would be Dude with a ring? Like, if they put a ring in there, like a 16 by 16 or something? Or do you think that would take away the magic?
It's a tough one. Yes and no. So obviously the branding alone would have to change because you can't call it Dude Where's My Ring if there is a ring. I think logistically, I don't think it'd work at Seasonal, which is our home base, just because I think it'd be a bit too close to the ceiling. But to say if you were to do a show somewhere else and have a ring, I think that the atmosphere could be the same, but I think it would lose a little bit of its charm just in the ways that where we're at with Dude Where's My Ring, it's very like up in your face. It's very close. Everyone's so close to the action. Whereas when you have a wrestling ring, it's an elevated platform. It's like a stage essentially, and that will add a little bit of separation. Also, the thing I think would detract from what has become our sort of product is that if you have a wrestling ring, it would turn into just, I guess, generalized wrestling. You'd still have all your hardcore deathmatch stuff, which a lot of people don't want to go near. And, fair. I don't want someone stabbing me with stuff and bashing glass over my head anyway. But like, you know what I mean? The transitions and the moves and all that would just be standard wrestling show, more blood and guts. You know what I mean? And I think that with the no ring, it's forced people to get more creative with how they work a match, how they plan a match, how they do their offense and their defense. And I think that's part of the charm. Don't get me wrong. I think a lot of people, I think it'd probably bring in more people because it would seem more like wrestling. I think a lot of people are probably turned off by the whole blood and carnage aspect of it. Definitely not me though. If I wasn't part of this company, I'd be going to every show. But I think it would change the style, which I think would maybe isolate some of the diehards, so to speak.
Yeah, alter it a bit. And strange a few people. Hey, but I mean the success of Dude, is pretty cool. You recently put out a survey. What were some of the changes in that? I know some pussies asked for seats. What's all up with that?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I didn't see the full. I did the video on the changes. I actually didn't get to see the survey. But so the thing with seats is interesting because you have a couple of rows of seats, and some people like to have a seat at the front, like it's a show. People like to sit down. It can go for a while. It's a long time. Whereas other people just like to stand, and I think some people would prefer to be like to go to stand right up against the guardrail like a mosh pit, you know what I mean? To go back to a music analogy, and really get rowdy in that because everyone loves, getting into it. But I mean, you also have to understand with certain aspects of any crowd for any event, there's certain people with accessibility issues or health issues where it's not so easy for them to stand for like 2.5 hours on a rowdy Friday night after you've worked all day. And some people just have a preference where they prefer to sit to stand. Some people, like myself, are not very tall. So if you're standing and you got a bunch of people who are of a normal height, you're going to struggle to see. And also some people are just a little bit older, like myself. I'm not so young anymore, and sometimes I enjoy a good sit down. So I guess people have their reasons. It's different strokes for different folks, but they're going to try and make it work for everyone. And I think that's a good thing to do. I remember...
May I suggest Beyond Thunderdome style?
Now there's an idea. I was going to say, remember at Venville, EPW used to have the drinking section and it'd be standing room and people could kind of stand right up front. Like, I guess you could have like a section for seats and say, I don't know what the plan is. Don't take this as gospel. I'm just kind of making shit up here. But I'm like, there'd be a way to make it work for everyone. We do have a really cool rapport with our fans, and I think it's really cool that they our only sort of guideline is for people not to be horrible people, you know what I mean? So we tell people like, hey man, if you're really tall and someone near you is a bit shorter, let them go in front of you. We all want to see the show and enjoy the show. We ask for people to obviously you want to chant foul things, that's fine. We don't want any sort of sexist, racist, homophobia sort of stuff like that. You pull that shit, you're out the door. But as far as the survey as well, we've just sort of a lot of little small logistical changes are happening. So we have a line because obviously most of the shows are sold out. There's a line that goes out the venue. A lot of times when doors open, people kind of flood it and kind of, I guess, bum rush the entry to try and get through. So what we're going to do now is stamp everyone's hands. So, we'll check the stamp on the hand as they come through. So people who try to get a bit cheeky and sneak in before the rest of them, they're going to have to play ball and play by the rules, which I think is fair. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Can't blame someone for trying, but
yeah, I got to ask.
Yeah.
I've heard rumours that the fire chief's been involved. You've oversold and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, we've been good lately, but yeah, we had a bit of scrutiny there for a while. People were clamping down on what was happening and different sort of aspects of the shows and the safety and, like you said, like fire hazards and different things like that. But it just all it took was we had to basically rejig a few things, change the layout of how we set up the shows and the ways that we present them and things like that. And I think we're on a good wicket now that we've got it in a place where I think everyone can sort of be happy with it. So we shouldn't get shouldn't get too much more sort of kickback from the council or anything. Because yeah,
I think that's long gone in the past, dude. It's just an interesting thing to bring up,
Oh man, it was an interesting time because we're kind of like, ooh, like, is this going to sink us? It's the council. It's people that are involved in these things. There's a reason why they do what they do, and we definitely want people to be safe at our shows. It's definitely not safe inside the fight pit, but we definitely want our audience to be safe. So yeah, it was cool. And like I said, you live, you learn, you work, you learn, and it's I guess anything. It's kind of got us to present things in a better way that's safer for everyone. We've got the rails now as well, which kind of helps a bit of guard for the people in the attendance as well.
But also, you've got a really supportive venue as well.
Yeah, man. Seasonal Brewing are fantastic. All the staff there are so lovely. And a couple of the guys that run the place and manage it, they're big wrestling fans. They love having us there. They sort of play ball with us and the silly things that the company would like to do. But they also present a lot as well for the people that come. So they do like special cocktails that they'll name after wrestlers and stuff like that, which is a hell of a lot of fun and they taste good as well. They've got and they got an actual kitchen there as well, which is really cool because they've got some really good food. Yeah, man. Yeah. So if you you knock off work, you come down to the show, you can get a good meal before you head into the show. Also, they're an actual brewery and they brew some really good beer. I don't mind a drink here and there, and they got some really good beers on tap that is always changing and cycling through as well. So it's it's a really cool venue, and they're super supportive, which is it's what you want. I mean, even like with EPW in the past, like, getting a venue to not only want to have wrestling in it, but support you and allow you to do what you want to do can be an uphill battle at times, but they've been nothing but amazing for us.
Would you want to speak about that? Would you like to speak about how you got the super shows to where they were and how the WWE weekend sort of like worked for you guys promoting and stuff? Was it good?
A lot of venues. Yeah, no, well, Willerton have been fantastic with us when we want to do those bigger shows. Willerton Basketball Stadium have been absolutely fantastic. We did our first one there. Ooh, I don't remember the exact year. It's honestly tough, and you'll have to forgive me. I've been doing this for so long.
23?
No, it was before that. It might have been like 21 or 22. We did our first Reawakening at Willerton. It was huge, and it's a great setup and all that. And the venue were amazing. They were so cool with us. But they had concerns. They're a basketball venue. They don't want their the hardwood floors getting messed up. We ended up getting this massive sort of underlay of carpet and stuff for when we do our future events. So we work with each other and it works, which is really cool. Pardon me. We're doing stuff down at
set up costs, but then you've got them, and so for the next shows.
Yeah, man, and it's really cool. They're super awesome, and I feel when we do those shows with EPW at Willerton, it does have that kind of big fight feel. It's got a lot more of a grandiose aura behind it, which is really cool. And I love doing our gigs there. We're working down at Merriwa at the Point these days a lot with EPW, and they've been super supportive of us as well. They've got a really good setup there. They've got the built-in screen as well, which just makes it look so fantastic when you watch the footage back as well. So
it's like one of those
really
old
cool.
evangelical angel people
Yeah.
stages, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's often a church, and it also is a
that's
I
what I
guess
mean.
a
Yeah,
function center.
yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
I see what you're doing there. Yeah, but they're an amazing crew of people. They've got some really good gear on hand as well. Like that
yeah,
screen's all theirs, which is super helpful. It just makes the production look so much better as well. Obviously, we use a lot of our own stuff and have our own lighting guys like Reese,
yeah,
who you're super familiar with.
yep,
He still gets all the lighting rigs and all the tech going and stuff. But yeah, that's been great. But a lot of places just hear the term wrestling and want no bar of it, and it's a little sad. But I guess venues are going to do what they think works best for them. Other venues like don't want to give us a Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's a tough thing, man. And
yeah,
anyone who's in the I guess event planning business or any form of entertainment, you kind of run into these sorts of things. Like
yeah, all
we
the
had a really
time.
good thing going with Gate One for a long time. Like things come and go. Like Venville was everything for a while. Then they refurbished and didn't want us anymore. So
Yeah,
you go to the next place. You go there. Yeah, it's the nature of the business, man. And it's one of those things. Like I said, I'm lucky enough to have been around for a long time that I've seen us go to many places. Some better than others, and some that you're just like, oh, if only we could have kept that place.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you've seen it evolve, shall we say? And
yeah,
speaking
definitely.
of evolving, Evolution is coming up,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're releasing like a match every week on YouTube. So there's some
Mm,
good stuff coming out free from EPW on YouTube. I won't say for a change, I'll just say for a bit of a difference because usually it comes out on Vimeo, and it's
yeah.
just
Yeah.
that little bit extra to go and get it. So yeah, get onto the EPW YouTube channel this week because
Yeah,
leading up to
definitely check it
Evolution,
out.
yeah, so that should be. You've got a big couple of weekends coming up. You've got a Dude, Where's My Ring show, and then you've got a two-night Evolution coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done a two-night evolution for years. I should have actually fact-checked this as to when we last did it, but it's been a long time, and I'm excited to bring it back because those were always good fun back in the day. Doing them with EPW, the Evolution weekend was always a big thing. Also, the fact that like I first commentated at Evolution, so it's got a bit of I guess personal sort of nostalgia for me. But I think it's going to be great as well, just to kind of you can tell a bit of a story of. I'm not a big one of making like when they do WrestleMania or Wrestle Kingdom 2 nights, but I'm okay with it being Evolution because it always used to be 2 nights. But we've got some good matches planned. We've got as well like you've got the platform to kind of start something on the Friday, finish it on the Saturday too, which should lead to a lot of good fun. And I know the boys are really excited for it, all the gang that's involved in it, because you got more chance to spotlight more wrestlers as well. So a lot of wrestlers will get themselves a spot on the card, which is great as well. We've got such a stacked roster right now at EPW. It's man, I feel bad for those poor guys. They got a lot to contend with just with each other, but it's a good problem to have so much awesome talent at your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, deep roster is not an issue normally, but I got to ask, man, out and about, you said you get other jobs. Where are you commentating as well? Like, is it NBL? What others? I've seen you commentate Muay Thai.
Yeah, so I was doing NBL one, but I stopped doing that I think last year. So I've recently landed a gig doing game day announcing for the Claremont Football Club
Oh,
in the Waffle or
sick.
the WAFL,
Yep.
which I guess if you're listening interstate, it's the equivalent of the VFL in Melbourne, the SANFL in South Australia. So Claremont Football Club, I do the game day announcing like over the PA and play the music and do all the cool stuff like that. So that's great as well. I really loved my time doing NBL one and commentating basketball. Like I said, I love commentating. I do love basketball as well, but I mean, I love my footy so much. And growing up around football as well, when this opportunity came my way, I was kind of like, I can't like you've only got so much free time, you know what I mean? Weekends are only 2 days, and I was like, it's going to be one or the other, and I had to go with football just because I really do love my footy, and it's been great. I did a double header yesterday where they had the men's game followed by the women's game. They actually did their Pride round game, which was really fantastic. They did a lot of cool stuff for Pride there for the Waffle Women's, and
Yep.
I've had a great experience with the club. They've really sort of embraced me and been super cool to me. It's a lot of fun. And like, much like wrestling, I get an amazing seat in the house. I'm up in like essentially a coach's box doing all this. And, I'm working whilst watching football. Like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah, no, that's awesome,
it's cool.
bro. And
Yeah,
you
yeah. So,
you're enjoying your football this year as well.
oh,
Doctors are having a good year.
mate, the lid is firmly on, though. I will tell you, my friend. You and I have talked footy so many times, my friend, and as a long-suffering, like from the very beginning, Fremantle fan and member, like you're just waiting for things to go lopsided. So I'm like keeping the lid on so tight. I'm like, no, we can't get too excited because you never know how this can go, upside down. But it's super exciting to a point that I'm scared. But I'm loving it. It's great. It's exciting to see the team, I guess, learn as they're playing as well, because a lot of games where previously we just kind of like, fall over into a hole, we've kind of like kept battling on to the end and won these games, which is fantastic to see as well. And it's
you guys have got to lighten up. This is what a good season feels like. Hey, these are all.
We're not used to it, bro.
This is what a good season feels like. Hey,
Yeah. Oh, it's great, man. It's a really good sort of across the board, like talented side. I'm really loving it, but I'm refusing to like, start doing cartwheels down the street or anything. But good God, is it fantastic to watch. And I am very excited. Just keeping the lid on, let's say that.
Gonna get that flag mantle tattoo?
I've already got an anchor. I've had this for years.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, but no.
Have you got anything else going on, bro, at the moment? Like podcasts?
Actually, we're bringing back. I was doing a movie podcast for the last few years. It's called Two Guys, a Girl, and a Movie Podcast. It's a typical. One of my old bosses. He came up with the idea. It's just like a movie podcast where we take a look at different movies. Go through. We rate it under different categories, and we see if like our scores match up with like the IMDb scores. Very lighthearted, very simple. Because obviously I've done podcasts in the past. And he came up with this idea because I was going to do a horror movie podcast, but then when he threw this idea at me, I was like, okay, cool, we'll do this. And it's with some really good friends, so I'm doing that. But we had a break for about the last 6 to 8 months because I just got so incredibly time poor. But we're bringing that back, and I think next week or the week after we should start dropping that again. Whether I do eventually start another horror podcast or something like that, it's something I'd like to do. But again, man, there's only so many hours of the day, and these little like passion projects, man, it's tough, dude. You know this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You need 7 lifetimes to do all the things you want to do, don't you?
Oh, dude, if only, yeah, if only. I used to say to people, man, if I didn't sleep, I'd have so much time to get stuff done. But then I realized that's probably something that like a meth head would say.
Well. Speaking of something a meth head would say, let's get to the questions and answers on the local scene from Dean Olsen. We'll start off, of course, at the top with favourite Australian wrestler, like, all over the nation. Who you got, mate?
All right. Damian Slater. I'm also unashamedly a massive fan of Slater's work. It probably comes through a lot of my commentary, but I just love his style of wrestling. I love how smooth and fluid his wrestling is. I could watch him wrestle all day. I really love a good technical style wrestler, and he does it so good. Like, as much as he is seen as being as good as he is, I still feel he's in some ways underrated. Like, people on a world scale, and I know he did the Cruiserweight Classic and all that, but like, I absolutely adore Damian Slater's wrestling. It's just, it's a thing of beauty to watch. And I know sometimes that it's weird because sometimes technical wrestling doesn't always hit with particular fandoms of wrestling, but oh man, I love it, and that is all for me. So big Damian Slater for me for my favorite.
Yeah, no, Slater makes it look easy, and then you hop in and you find out it is not.
No.
What about our favourite WA wrestler? So just WA. So can't have Slater because he's from South Australia.
No, he might have moved over here for his lovely wife. When that happened,
a big congratulations to them both as well.
Yeah, they just had their second child. I remember once he did move over, I was having a chat with David Storm. I was like, dude, let's just get all these wicked wrestlers from all the other states to marry Perth girls, and we can like steal their
Yeah,
we'll just
look,
get them all married.
I mean, we don't have to marry our ladies off like ISIS brides or anything, but we certainly can get them. You certainly can get them to Perth, and then it's the most isolated city in the world. And it's like, yeah, well, we're here.
Yeah. Hey, look,
Yeah,
I'm single. If you're an amazing wrestler out there, I'll marry you.
that's it. Hey,
Sorry, I'm getting stupid now. I'm dodging the question. WA wrestler. Look, man, I'm a big Mikey Nicholls guy, and
yeah,
that's something that I think won't be lost on me because obviously me joining when I first did EPW, he was wrestling internationally. He's a big part of breaking the mold of like. Here's Australia, but here's the rest of the world. You know what I mean? And one thing is, as much as you've seen Mike work and you see what he does, and you know him so well because he's been doing it so well, every time he has a match, you're reminded of how good he really is and how simple it is for him to do what he does. And I know this might be a bit of a blanket of like, hey, your favorite WO wrestler. Oh, it's Mikey Nicholls, the guy that's, done all this incredible stuff overseas.
well, you didn't
But
say Shane Haste, so
Oh, that's true. I do love Shane as well. Shane and we like, I love both those guys. It's tough, man. Like, because these guys are my friends as well as someone's that I'm objectively watching ply their trade. But I'm still Mikey Nichols.
yeah, no, great choice. And what about the new crop, the newest favorite around Dude EPW? Who's impressing you on the shows? Who's relatively new?
I will start off by saying that there is so much amazing up and coming young talent across the board, not just in WA but other states. But
Mm.
with WA at the moment, there is such an amazing slew of talent coming through that are doing some great stuff, and they're hungry, and that's the beauty of it too, because you want that hunger. That's something you need to harness. And my favorite new up and comer at the moment is Papa Germ.
Yep.
If you're familiar with pardon me, if you're familiar with either Dude, Where's My Ring, the main EPW shows, he does stuff at the school at ESPW, or the Go Time matches, which are on YouTube for free, which are our pre-shows. You would know Papa Germ. He's got a really good sort of character about him. Obviously, he's vaping and punching darts and a bit of a dero and all this stuff, which I will always find funny. I grew up around like Balga, Girraween, Mirrabooka. If you're familiar with Perth, you'll know exactly what those suburbs are like. So even though he's not from my hood, he plays someone I would have grown up with. But this guy is very multifaceted in the way of his approach to wrestling. And he surprised a lot of people. He had one of those matches in the pen with Solomon Blackwell 12 to 18 months ago. And he put on some really good like chain wrestling, trading holds, some sort of tech game, which people weren't expecting. So he can do the fun, silly kind of wrestling. He can do the sort of techie stuff. I think this guy has a massive future ahead of him, and I'm just here for it every time he comes out. He makes me laugh. He really engages me. He's got a great look about him as well. Definitely a Papa Germ guy right here. I keep telling him I want merch. Give me a t-shirt or something.
Well, the next question is like the one that makes you smile, and I guess that would be Papa Germ as well.
Yeah, Papa Germ, but you know what? For sake of not doubling down, I'll go Jesse Lambert, which is probably just as easy a one because he not only is that sort of character, but he's that guy. Like Jesse Lambert outside of wrestling makes me smile. He's an absolute sweetheart of a human. I've always gotten along with him really great since he first started training. At the school, we would sort of like, see each other at events or whatever. I'd always have a chat to him. He's a big movie fan as well, and he knows his stuff, which is cool. But yeah, he'll always put a smile on my face, whether it's doing his stuff in ring, outside of the ring, or just like seeing photos of him on social media. He's just a real lovable guy and genuinely funny too. And his work in EPW has been incredible, and it's something that I think a lot of people need to learn from, because in a world where everyone wants to be, I'm Mr. Tough Guy, you can do something different and be like so incredibly over with the fans.
Yeah, it is definitely over from the fans. I can't fucking work it out. But yeah.
That's the thing. If it's not for you, it doesn't mean it's not for them or them or them, Like,
yep.
Yeah, man, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, seem to be in the 5% there. Comfort wrestler. Let's go with comfort wrestler. I don't even know what this means, but it's going around the internet, this list of questions. So like, I thought I'd transpire it to you in national WA circumstances. So comfort wrestler, who do you go? Ah, yeah, that they're on the show. Let's put it like that. Oh yeah,
I
good to see
guess,
them.
and again, I feel like I'm going with the easy options. Most people would probably want to go for something, like try and hot take it or anything. But I guess a great comfort wrestler's like a Marcus Pitt, right?
Yep.
Like if he's on the card, if he's in a match, you are going to see something fantastic. Like he could take the neighbor's dog into the ring and put on an absolute belter of a match. And he's yeah. Look, I don't want to. Okay, don't wrestle a dog. That's a bad analogy. He is so good at what he does and makes it look so easy. Every time, I remember for a while there was about maybe almost a year that every time he came out with saying commentary like, "Oh my god, look at the amazing shape this guy's in," and somehow his physique kept looking better and better.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, it's insane.
Yeah.
But he's such a good wrestler. He can do it all and make it look flawlessly easy. And no matter who he's wrestling, he's going to put on an absolute belter of a match that you're going to be in for a wild ride. And the fact that him and Slater are back tagging again, I think that we're all winners from that because those two together, my God.
All right. Well, here's where it gets weird in the list of
All right.
questions, as if it wasn't already with comfort wrestler. The one you missed the most, I guess someone who's retired, that means, hey.
All right, and I will say this to anyone, including the man himself, Jimmy Payne. Jimmy Payne, for those, and I do have to preface this because given the current audience of local wrestling, they probably don't know who Jimmy Payne is a lot of times these days. But Jimmy Payne was a massive main event wrestler in Explosive Pro Wrestling from the very beginning up until maybe the early 2010s, was it?
In the first main event with David Storm and
yeah, man.
Yeah.
He was really good at bringing about that big fight feel. He was very much he was a champion when I first joined the company, so that may play into it. It was also a bit of a shock when I met him in real life because he's just the biggest sweetheart and such an absolute lovable human. But he always bring this kind of this hardness about what he did, this aura of what the main guy should be, and it's something that has never been lost on me. Even in the later parts of his career, he was doing a lot of tagging with Nate Dooley, and he would still come out and bring that presence with him. And his matches were always good. You're always going to see some sort of hard hitting, crazy stuff go on. But yeah, man, if you could bring back, I guess, someone who no longer wrestles for one more round, I'd have to go with Jimmy Payne, man. I love that guy so much. And anyone who was around it at the time would probably agree with me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely agreeing with you. And the one you'd protect with your life.
It's ironic because, who am I going to protect?
Yeah. Who would you take a bullet for?
Pull a knife on someone, use a baseball bat. I'm not going to out wrestle anyone. James Hartness. James Hartness, I'll say just for the fact that he's a really good friend of mine. I absolutely love him to death. And preceding his in-ring career as a wrestler, we got along tremendously when he first started training. Then he was doing like camera work. We always ripped the piss out of each other. We've had many a fun time boozing it up at parties and whatnot. But just a real good friend of mine that, if he was to give me a call right now and say, hey man, I'm in a bit of trouble, can you come help us out? I would cut this short and be there right away. Just that he's a really good friend of mine. And yeah, I'd definitely be there for him, but I'm more than sure he can handle himself.
Yeah. And current EPW champion, So,
yeah. He's been fantastic.
And the one you're most invested in currently, maybe someone who's on the rise or someone coming up through the shows you're doing?
Definitely. For that one, I'm going to go with Dustin Connors. Dustin Connors is an interesting one because his first match on an EPW show happened when someone couldn't make the show. So he'd been sort of training with EPW and all the rest, but it was kind of like, hey, we've got an open spot. Man, you call to jump in. Last minute, gets thrown into a match. I think it was with Tyler Jacobs, someone that you've known even longer than me, and he did a great job and all that. But just watching him get better and build, and his sort of trajectory has been really interesting. Obviously, storyline wise, Marcus Pitt and Damian Slater have kind of taken them under his wing, and he's kind of like their whipping boy or what have you. But I keep seeing him improve and do better and better. And he recently won the Coastal Championship at last year's Reawakening. And since winning that championship, I noticed this sort of change on how he presented himself. And it was almost like he like upped his level, and it was something really impressive. He did recently lose that championship to Jesse Lambert. I was a little bummed for him because I really wanted to see how he would grow. But hey, I'm very invested in his journey because he's quite young, and I say that because I'm old and everyone's young. But he's he's a young guy. He's fit as hell. He's got himself in tremendous shape. He's doing great matches, and I think that the sky's the limit for this guy. He's going to do some great things. There's like him and Elijah Henry. You know, I don't want to try and throw two in the one here, but they're two youngsters that are doing some amazing things that I think are going to really sort of be ones to watch.
Yeah,
like I said, there's so much good young talent right now. You know, I could list them on all my fingers. People like Lucas Fantasia as well, absolutely killing it and doing stuff all around the country is Fantasia. Like, yeah, but for the purpose, I'll go Dustin Connors. I definitely want to watch.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, definitely. No one's whipping boy, the war boy. Yeah, for sure.
And the crowd love giving him shit. Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
it's good. Mm.
But I got to start asking you about companies now. Do you get to see much stuff outside of WA? Like, do you have a favorite Australian company to watch outside of WA?
I do, but kind of here and there. It's kind of a bit sparingly, just because I tend to be quite time poor. Obviously, I will work a full-time job. I do these things outside, like, you know, I've got a Muay Thai event next weekend, did 2 games of football yesterday, you know, as well as just general life admin that people need to do. But when I can, I like to check out.
Bro.
Yeah. No, I do, but not like every show, if that makes sense. I'll see sort of this one and I'll see that one and sort of bounce around the map where I can. I'll have to say MCW. MCW is a really good company, and they tend to really stack their cards. So I guess for someone like myself, being all the way over here in Perth, you kind of, you know, you got to pick and choose what you're going to watch. MCW has a stack card with a lot of people from other places, so you kind of get a lot of the picks of different feds in one, which is really handy. And the shows deliver, so it's always a good time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're time poor, why not start at the tippy top? You know, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Let's say favorite WA company.
Oh man, you're killing me. Look, man. I'm gonna have to go EPW.
Yep.
I've been with EPW for 19 years, man. It's been my thing for so long. As much as I love Dude, and Dude has allowed me to be, I guess, more creative. EPW is like, you know, it's where I grew up. Let's just say. So I will go EPW.
Let's say favorite EPW moment, then we'll do favorite Dude moment. So.
All right, cool. Favorite EPW moment. For years, I used to always say Nate Dooley and Jimmy Payne's retirement match at Venville, just because it was such a big event. The house was packed, and as soon as they made their entrance to retire people through streamers, but the entire crowd, as well as Lukey and myself on the call, we like stood up and everyone stayed standing the whole time. But I think now, whilst I'm saying this, I think maybe the Progress and EPW show might be it, just for the fact that when that happened, Progress was kind of at the peak of its popularity. Progress Wrestling was doing massive things. I mean, clearly enough, because it was doing shows in Australia and other countries. This was just as I was starting to get in cahoots with WWE. And I think the reason why I have to go with that was the fact that not only did I get to announce on this show and, you know, do a great job calling with Glenn on it, but it allowed the EPW talent to stand alongside with the Progress talent and actually like be equal with them, because like Dave's match with Pete Dunne and Don's with Havoc and all that, like the matches that took place, they looked like they were on equal footing. It showed that EPW was as good as like the big indies on the world stage. And yeah, I'd have to say that one, man.
Yep. And favorite Dude moment?
I mean, I'm going to have to go my match, aren't I?
Yeah, that's fair enough. That is fair enough.
Yeah, I ended up having a match with Mr. Thompson last year, a desk match, which was lots of silly gaga fun stuff, but not something I ever wanted to do. Like a lot of people that get involved and do commentary or refereeing or whatever, they want to be a wrestler. I've never had really any aspirations to wrestle. I wanted to do commentary because the last thing wrestling needs is someone who's like, I don't know, what am I, like 5'8" and not in great shape to try and act like a tough guy. But I'm also like pretty uncoordinated. So I'm like, I'm good at talking, I'll stick to that. But yeah, when this came about, Mr. Thompson and I went back and forth with a lot of different angles and giving each other shit, which the promos were so much fun just because Thompson is just such a talent. He's so good. He's just an absolute heat machine. Just one of the best sort of like love to hate you kind of people. And then when I got to have the actual match, it was really good fun. It was very, very nerve wracking, I must say. But it was a lot of fun and definitely something that in retrospect, I'm like, I'm glad that happened. That was great fun. And we had a really good time. And I'll always have all the respect in the world to not only Thompson for doing that with me, but also the Dude crew for getting it to happen too. So it was a really, I guess, surreal occasion.
Well, that's it. And getting thrown around the internet this week is another phrase. Wrestling is for everyone, but everyone shouldn't be a wrestler. How do you feel about that after talking about your match?
I will agree wholeheartedly. I should not wrestle.
There you go.
But the thing is that not everyone needs to be a wrestler. I am the perfect example of this and why I can advise to people that, if you want to be involved in wrestling, you can. Wrestling is for everyone. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just being a fan of wrestling, but sometimes wrestling isn't for everyone in regards of being a wrestler. Just the fact that there's a lot of I guess limitations of particular people. Like sometimes you can't always do the physical stuff. Sometimes you can't.
People
You're
way
not
underestimate how physical it is.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, not only the cardio conditioning and like physical strength that you need, but also coordination and just kind of interpersonal skills of not only mixing with the person that you're wrestling, but with the audience. You have these I guess, outgoing sort of personality traits and stuff. But within the world of wrestling, there are so many things that are needed to be done, whether it be referees, commentators, ring announcers, just like tech
Ring
staff,
crew.
ring crew, event stuff. There are like so many things to be involved. And there are people I can say being around as merch table. There are people that we have involved in EPW and even Dude that have been around for so long, and just because they don't actually go in there and have a main event matchup, they are no less part of the crew than the people that do. So like you'll see someone that gets as much respect as James Hartness as does like someone who takes photos or does something else with the crew, because it is all one big crew and one family. Like there is something for everyone in there, regardless of what your talent pool is. And that's one thing that I did when I got involved in this was I worked to my strengths, which was talking. One thing that I think should definitely make a comeback, especially in local wrestling, is managers. Yeah. And you don't see too many of them. Dude, how good's a great manager?
Yeah.
It's so good. Like we had Amber as a valet for years and would just kill it, get like nuclear heat. It's like, there's so many different facets that could work for different people. It doesn't just have to be taking bumps. And just quietly, taking bumps, not a fun time.
Not a fan.
Getting picked up and slammed. Not like a good day at the office. I've hurt my body doing like warehouse work and like labor jobs. You know what I mean? Like
9 to 5 shit.
Dude, let alone bloody getting picked up and slammed through a bloody table or something in your spare time. So yeah, there's different things for different people, and my advice would be lean towards your strengths, and at the end of the day as well, there's nothing wrong with just enjoying what you love, but yeah, I will agree with that sentiment, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of maybe people should enjoy what they love and aim for the stars. We always have to ask everyone that comes on the show, how do you feel about the 60-plus companies? Is that good or bad ecosystem for Australian wrestling? Did you know there were 60-plus companies in Australia? Some people are even surprised to find that out.
60 seems like an absurd number.
It's more states than the US, my friend.
Dude, wow. I guess it depends on the markets, right? So Australia is such a unique beast, and that's something that I think people who don't live in Australia really fail to understand is that it's quite spread out.
Yeah.
Not just in Perth, which is so isolated, but
just around the coast and yeah, everything. Yeah.
dude, it's so far spread out, and I guess you have certain pockets, like say in Perth, there's 3 or 4 companies now. But 60 Australia wide just seems insane. I think it's great that each state should definitely. You don't want to overcrowd any market too much, because not only does that run into problems of, I guess, filling seats, because much like ourselves that I've spoken of, there's only so many, there's only so many hours in a weekend for people to come to go to shows. And also the talent pool and stuff. Like, sure, train up new wrestlers, bring new people in, but even they can only make so many shows. 60 sounds like a bit much, but I guess I'd have to see the map with all the dots of whereabouts they're congregated in. I can't believe there's 60. When was there 60? Has this been a thing that's been going for a long time?
Yeah, we released a video about a few months ago, and yeah, Michael Lee from the Australian wrestling community helped us.
Oh, I know him. He's a great dude.
Yeah, he sent his love, coagulate everything together, and basically 60 plus Australian wrestling companies. I think it's 62 or 63.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, look, I wish them all well. I'm just like, from a business standpoint, I'm like, how the hell does that work? But I guess there's lots of little places that could, like have a fed. And that's the thing as well. In WA, everything's around Perth, because, Perth's the center, it's like the big city of this ridiculously huge state that we live in. Like, there's no sort of rural wrestling feds in WA, which I don't know whether that's surprising or whether they could actually feasibly make that work. But I don't know how it's going on the East Coast for how closely congregated they all are.
Basically, there's a few in each suburbs. They just trade weekends, but yeah, a couple of them are a bit like, main event light of the shows, So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have the stat for which state has the most?
I think it's New South Wales or Victoria that definitely have the most. Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay. All right. Well, I'll watch your video, and I'll even chat to Michael, because I do know him. He's an absolute wonderful person.
Top bloke.
Yeah, absolute. Oh, what a gem of a human. Yeah, fascinating. Okay.
With that in mind, who are you watching internationally? Because I know if you ask a lot of the boys, they say, "Oh, I don't watch the E."
I will watch it here and there. I still haven't watched the AAA show from, was it last weekend, that had the big match everyone's on about?
Yeah.
The what's his name?
Mask versus Mask, American
Yeah,
Run Day.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Man, I've heard more about that than any match in a long time. Even though it's not strictly WWE, I'll tune into WWE here and there. The most stuff I watch that sort of interests me is the Japanese wrestling.
Yep.
So I'll watch New Japan. So later on this afternoon, I'll check the final of the Super Juniors.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I watch Pro Wrestling Noah as well quite regularly. DDT I'll hop in and out of. It's not something I watch regularly enough, and I do watch All Japan, but I've kind of not seen a lot of that lately, just because they're you know what it's like, man. You follow these feds, and sometimes it's like, oh, this is really exciting right now, but oh, these guys are doing something better now.
Yeah.
And so it sort of shifts it out. Mostly mostly New Japan and Noah have been where I've watched my international stuff as of late, but I do plan on checking out that AAA show, because man, everyone has been telling me about it. I mean, like, I'm in different group chats and friends that I know that watch wrestling that are like not even related to each other, and everyone's like, "Oh man, have you seen this?" Oh. And there's got to be something to it if you hear that much buzz, all right?
Yeah, no, it was definitely worth a watch, man. So yeah, check it out. Mean Dean, we can catch you July 3rd. And don't threaten me with a good time. I love some of the names you guys come up with for dude. Hey, it's always
it's
good.
So good, right? Yeah. My favorite one was the Halloween show called Nosferatu, dude.
Yeah, that was.
And good. I couldn't be at that show, so that sucked. But that was good fun. But yeah, some of the puns and silly names is so much fun. But yeah, that I'm looking forward to that show.
And then the weekend after, directly after, you've got the two-nighter, July 10th and 11th, Evolution EPW at the Point Merrower. Uh, Learnt your
Huge.
lesson, not at the basketball. It was a bit cold the last time you had Evolution at the basketball courts,
Yeah, that's true.
middle of winter.
Yeah.
And don't forget,
Oh man.
yeah, they're releasing a main event in the lead up, all the way to the lead up of June 10th and the 11th, promoting Evolution. So get your tickets. It probably will sell out. It always gets very close to selling out.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I will completely smudge the Don's outro if I even attempt it. So don't forget to support the local scene. Buy a wrestler's t-shirt, merch. I saw some people have pops now. What the hell? So
Oh
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Wow.
it's going mad out there with merch. So grab your wrestlers merch because it all helps to get them around the country and on the shows and everything. So yeah, Mean Dean,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on. Big thank you for coming on and helping us out this week with the Don away in Thailand. And yeah,
Hey man, anytime. It's great. Obviously, we go way back. It's great to have a chat with you, and I could talk wrestling all day. But to everyone else, thanks for listening. If you're a wrestling fan, like you said, go to the shows, buy the merch,
yep.
support what you love, and love what you support.
And stick around for Mean Dean's 3 minute outro on the acoustic guitar that's on behind him. We're going to get that ripping now. No, no. Thanks, everyone. Catch you next week.